Good morning, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. And I'm sitting in my car waiting for some people to come in. And I wanted to make sure that I got one done this morning. How are we doing, my friends? It's always good to talk with you guys. And thank you for the subscriptions, the comments, and donations. All those things are welcome. I think we're over 1,000 and almost 60 or something like that. So I'm very blessed, and I feel very blessed about this. Everything we're doing seems like it's kind of moving in the right direction, getting more and more people to understand the ideas that we're talking about here. It's not something that's a revelation or new. It's just something that used to be the case. And we've been kind of in this blue matrix. We've been kind of, hoodwinked into changing our viewpoints over time. And then whatever was, kind of a diva behavior in the past have now become normalized. And it's just kind of destroyed especially a lot of young men. And that's kind of who I really mainly focus on. Women have a lot of benefits as well, and we can talk about those. But because I'm not a woman, it's easier for me to kind of talk about the male perspective and all my experiences that I've had with this. I'm 61, so I've had 47 years of problems, and then it's only been the last couple years that I've actually been able to really focus on what's really the important part of all this. So let's talk about this a little bit. I've had a bunch of different comments and ideas about this, and I'm going to just kind of do a general type one today. So we focus on the idea that, okay, if we react a certain way, then a woman reacts another way. But the issue that a lot of men, especially young boys, grow up with is this idea that, we should be putting women on a pedestal. We should go ahead and say, okay, this woman is beautiful and attractive and those things, and we should do anything we need to do to make her happy. Well, that goes only to a certain point, my friends, because after a while what ends up happening is that you have like a desperate or a needy type of reaction then. And a lot of women will push back on that. And I've interviewed a lot of women over the years at the college level, and it's very apparent that they do not want to have a desperate man. They actually want someone to be a leader and show some initiative in a relationship with them. So, but you also, in the day and age now, you have a lot of young women who also feel like that they are entitled. And I hear a term going around a lot calling that, they are the table, or this person's the table, and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm gonna title this one that men in reality really are the table. And the reason I want to talk about this is because in reality, you play as much or not even a bigger role in this whole situation of life, especially in relationships with women, than you think you do. And I want to kind of focus on this, and I may be exaggerating a little bit to the other side, but I want to kind of illustrate a bunch of points here to kind of show you that we have to change, whereas we have to change our mentality. Our mentality is where the issue is here. Now, let's look at this in reality. And if you're not releasing, you kind of see this more because you feel stronger, you feel more vibrant, you feel more energy as a warrior. And that's the way it should be. That's the way men should be naturally. If we're getting caught up in all this other kind of stuff that's been going on with images and all this kind of stuff, then we don't really focus enough on this. And I think that's the whole key when we focus on this. We have to understand that we are very valuable. In fact, we are the table. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's kind of think about this a little bit. If we're focusing on this and I'm trying to kind of get charged here. So if we look at this, and we're focusing on this, the importance of this thing, let's kind of look at some examples here. So for instance, if you look at all the species, a peacock, the male is the one that it's a very beautiful peacock they're chasing, right? In order to queen bees, to be able to have more bees and multiply, the male is very important. You have to go out and get the male, right? Same thing with praying mantises, all these type of things, all these species, the male plays an integral role. So don't think to yourself that you're not valuable in these situations. In fact, there's an old saying that I heard one time. It says that the man chases the woman until she catches him. And basically, that's really the crux of this whole thing. Remember, you are the beast-like mentality. And just like Beauty and the Beast, the woman is trying to soothe you. The woman is trying to kind of get you to a different place. You're not going to change unless that happens. And so you have to look at your value in this situation. And because you look at your value, then you could act differently. You know that you're valuable. And people sense that. Then they see the confidence level, and all of a sudden now you become more attractive. But then also, you're going to be able to make more of a choice. You can choose, I don't want to be part of this person. I don't want to be with this person, or I can be. You have more of a choice and then a responsibility to be able to say, okay, I'm making my own choices here. I'm choosing what I want to do. So this is kind of the key to the whole thing. So in actuality, because women want to have children, and most of them do, and they want to mate in many ways, they want to find somebody. And so if you think that women are not giving you signals all the time, you'll notice this on semen retention. I think the key is, and obviously retention by itself is not the only thing, but what retention does, because of the high level energy you have, it makes the signals from women a lot stronger to you and noticeable. And that, I think, is the key to the whole thing. And I think Optical Man, a bunch of other people have said this, that you'll see women who be shaking their legs, or they're playing with their hair. All these things are indications that your energy, your aura, is affecting them. And so you'll see this. You'll see smiles. Women treat you much nicer. They're more respectful. They're not this. They don't have this copying, this attitude, and that's the kind of stuff that changes everything around. And you become a lot more confident. You become someone who is valued, and now you become that table, if you want to use the old quote. I don't really think there's any table at all. I think there's both people are kind of working on the same level. But I think you have to, as a male, and the reason I bring this up is because part of the problem in all of this type of stuff we're talking about is the idea that when you're watching images and you're releasing, you feel bad about yourself. I know I did. And so your confidence level, your values go down. As you're more retaining and you're getting stronger and your vibration's getting stronger, all of a sudden now you become more confident and you become a lot more valuable, and now you attract a lot more opportunity and relationships, women attraction, financial attractions. All these things are happening because you're transmuting and you're keeping your energy in, and you're feeling confident. And it could be a lot of both together. I don't really know, but all I know is that it works. And I do know the attraction level changes when you're on retention. All of a sudden now you become part of that table. You're not the one saying, okay, oh yes, you're the table, I'll chase you around, whatever you want to do. That's nonsense, guys, because that's the best way to ruin a relationship that I know of. After all these years of working with research and relationships and all kinds of stuff that I've been doing, as a professor. I mean, I could tell you so many situations where the relationship started off well, and then the male changed and became that beta male. And yeah, females will keep that person around, but they really have no respect, and they don't really want that male either. And that's kind of a bad relationship to be in for males, because they know that. They can sense it. They can sense the energy. So as guys, when you talk about this whole idea, and I'm not going to do a long one today, but I want to kind of do a short one. The whole idea that you're looking at, guys, is that you are a lot more valuable than you think you are. And I think that's important to know, because now your confidence level and how you react to people change. So if somebody doesn't pay attention to you, I walk down the street, there's some people that are not paying attention. Other people gazing at you. The heck, so what? So what? We talk about this situation about what if you don't have intercourse, right? Well, you're the one leading, my friend. So you don't need that woman. You don't need that person. Find someone else. Find someone who understands your position. And that's important. So the confidence level you have is crucial. You're the one dictating. And then you look at the Bible, you look at a lot of other things in there, you're the leadership position. If that woman wants to be with you, she will. If she doesn't, well, then move on. As somebody once told me, there's a lot of fish in the sea out there, a lot of boats in the harbor. The key is don't put yourself down. Don't worry about rejection. Keep moving ahead, because the idea is you're trying to better yourself. Don't worry about this. And I think that as you focus on this more, you'll recognize that the importance is not the women. The importance is building yourself. And as you build yourself, you're going to get a lot of the attraction along with it. And you don't give a care. I mean, you're moving on. I mean, I get rejected every day several times from different things. Whether it's, a failure to do this or failure to do that, or, talking to someone that didn't go out the right way, whatever it might be. But it's time to move on, right? Move to something else. And one of the things you have to be is mentally tough. And when you have that situation and know that, okay, this happened, is this another signal to me that I have to change my course and do something else? Then I'll move on and do something else. Just like with female relationships, doesn't work, move on. Now, obviously, if you make a situation talking about getting married with all the legal issues we have out there, you have to be very careful. And some people are choosing not to. I know the MGTOW movement and all those things are happening. That's going to be your choice. But remember, I would get enough information before you actually make that commitment to understand, is this a person that I can sense and tell? I tell you one thing, in the old days, and this is I go back to the old days, you didn't have any kind of intercourse until you got married. So I ended up, having longer relationships with people, especially certainly my wife, fiance, and we didn't partake in any of that kind of stuff. And to me, that was the best thing in the world, because you get to know the person. If you're on retention, you get to know that person as a person. Forget about the intercourse, because that comes and goes, especially as the years go on. But the thing is, can you be with that person, having a relationship with that person? Can you sit down and work with that person in a relationship by finances and children, whatever it might be? You have to think to yourself, can I be with that person? Do I enjoy that person's company? It may be a beautiful person, but can you enjoy their company? These are value things that are going to help you achieve your goals and be a stronger person. So it's not all about the looks. And when people are younger, they think it's about the looks. And I know, because I was there. It's not about the looks. It's about that energy inside and the spirit you have. Find those people that have the spirit and connect with you. And that may be a person you want to stay for a long time. This is why we talk about having one person, not having multiple persons, because it's hard to gauge that with multiple people, and eventually it becomes blurred. You don't know who's who half the time, right? And that's why it's important to kind of keep focusing on the idea that as you look at this, you have to make the right choices, but you can only do that if you're at full strength. If you're half bombed out, no energy, you're not going to make the right choices. So, all right, my friends, well, I'm gonna take off on this one. I've got to keep moving here, but I wanted to put one together because I know I've had a lot of questions on this, and I'll go back to my list, I think, tomorrow. But remember, guys, your value is stronger than you think it is. In fact, you are not only part of that table, you may be owning most of the table, right? So make sure you realize that you're important. Don't be giving someone else that table. You take the table, you use it, my friend. You use it because you are the person that's really in demand. And that's why you only have 1% of the men in demand half the time, because they don't realize they're in demand. And those who realize it, they understand it. They take it, they understand it. Now, I'm not saying take advantage of it. I'm not saying be a player or anything like that. I'm saying basically recognize your worth and recognize that there's a lot of other, opportunities out there. And as you go through life, don't focus on women, don't focus on these other things. Focus on making sure you're the best person you can become, achieving your goals, and serving God the best you can be, and developing that relationship. And that's number one. Everything else will fall in place. All right, my friends, God bless you guys, each and every one. Thank you again for all the great subscriptions, comments. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the channel, and let's keep it up and keep getting this word out. But value of men have been put down and down and down over the last number of years through images, through all kinds of media stuff out there. We need to start taking back that control of how strong the male must be, because you need to protect, you need that, and women expect that. Down deep, they need that. They cannot, and there's not many women that have the physical strength that men just aren't. And so when it comes to protection and doing things. Yeah, of course they're making money. They're going to be doing that kind of stuff. But when it comes to certain things, the male is needed around. And if you don't think that way, then you're putting yourself in bad positions by giving up that value you have. Keep your value, and all of a sudden you'll see your life change around as well. But it starts with retention. It starts with knowing yourself and keeping your seed and nutrients and becoming a very powerful force in the world. God bless you guys. Battle on. Remember, every day is a new day to a wise warrior. God bless you guys.